Hi everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel. Wow, I've got a few cool insights for you in this video, so definitely stay tuned towards the end. That's going to be pretty insightful as well. So let's get straight onto it. Hex.com, here we go folks. Of course, 742, that is the day. 742 is the Hex day, and this is the time snapshot at 13th of December as we head towards Christmas. 16.2 cents, yes, nice. So we're up 5.5%, and of course 16.2 cents is higher than what we had 2 days ago when we had that big jump of 18.6%. So very cool. We are up at 16.2 cents, a very nice building momentum as well as we head towards PulseSwap, sacrifice, and PulseChain launch. Very, very nice. Let's get into the ROI from all-time low, 2,878x from the 5th of January 2020. And of course, the Hex payout of 5.923. It looks like we have pretty much moved up from 5.75 up to over 5.9 for our payout. So looking super good. If you're staked in Hex, you are enjoying this. And as I say, pick up those T-shares, folks, get staked because you're going to see a lot of penalties in the future. People can't help themselves. That's just the way it's going to be. T-share price of $3,205. So it's obviously a bit more expensive to get it today than it was earlier in the week. It was the lowest in the last 10 days. So maybe this day 737. So definitely, trying to pick up those T-shares important. Now, a T-share rate is only up and to the right, and it's 90,729, only up slightly more than a dot day, so 0.3 as we head towards 20,000. So we're going to look towards that before the end of the year. Average stake length 5.92 years. The longer is better, so looking good here at the moment with the long length. That means that inflation is deferred well into the future on average, so nice. Annual percentage yield rate and interest and early in-stake penalties, 37.5%. What a beautiful return. The pooled ETH is 147.5 million, and of course that's down from yesterday. What's that? About 3.5 million down from yesterday in the Hex wise. The pooled USDC has gone up from just under 27 million to 25.5 million, and back over to over 1,000, way up to 1055 ETH. So that's a big jump there as well. So nice to see that in the pool. Let's have a look at the valuations. The total value locked 10.10 billion basically, and nice to be back over that 10 again. And the market cap 93.39 billion, heading towards back up towards that 100 million. We haven't seen that in the last 10 days, so onwards and upwards towards that. T-share market cap 34.43 billion, and the total number of T-shares 10,744,000. And 198, up 4,338, which is a great day for more T-shares. Now remember, we had the Origin wallet accounting back here on day 738, and that dramatically reduced the T-shares from a 10.858 million down to a 10.743 million, and that was a big day when John Wick did the good accounting on that. Very, very cool to see that. And of course, here is the total Hex at the moment, 630, just under 637 billion, and minted inflation relatively modest at 14.5 million today. So remember, most inflation is deferred through staking, and the longer it's staked, the better. Let's have a look at the circulating supply. So circulating supply is just under 575 billion. Remember, most of that's in the Origin account, Origin wallet, and circulating supply increase up 41.6 million today. And of course, don't forget back here on day 738, we had the Origin wallet good accounting on, so decrease as well. The total stake supply, let's have a look at that. 62 billion is staked, and that's down at 27 million, I should say. And let's have a look at the GA, or good accounting numbers. Stake supply, good accounting, over a billion Hex there, and good accounted today, 35 million, actually pretty big day. Obviously after the Origin account was good accounted back here on day 739 by John Wick, who paid 5k in the community to do that, to reduce the amount of T-shares in the market, and therefore the total Hex paid to remaining stakers was increased. So pretty nice there. Stake percentage of coins is 9.73%, and of course if you're staked, you are a winner. because you're winning with those beautiful T-share payouts over 5.9 now per hex. Sorry, 5.9 hex per T-share payout. Payout in hex going to stake is 63.6 million. And remember, this only comes out once stakes are mature, well into the future. Penalties 461,000. Not as good as yesterday's 2 stakes that were that gave us this 14 million. But 461 is pretty good nevertheless. And of course, total as holders 391,513, up 300. That's a decent day. And current stakers up 40, 72,171. We definitely want to get this staker number up, but lots is happening with that. And when PulseChain, PulseSwap come up, I'm sure we'll get more. This will jump very big in the future. And plus, Staker app 2.0 is coming out soon. Very, very cool. Total stakers 90,484, and that's up 105, and which is cool. And the current holders 272,616, up 191. Nice. All right, those are today's results, folks. Let's jump over to real time. Check out the price. Price is looking pretty snazzy, and look at that, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we are going up. This was the price prediction video. If you haven't checked it out, check out my last weekly price prediction video. This is kind of the general pattern for where I think it will go. This pullback could be slightly higher, but I definitely think it's going to go rally up there as well. And here we are tracking on pretty well against this line actually at the moment. So very cool. We've gone through this short-term resistance, and we smashed through that. So the next one is the long-term, is the short-term bullish breakout. This is the one we've been trying to beat for a few weeks now, and stop this downtrend. So we definitely get up over this. I mean, that could be pretty much 18 cents. We smash past that, we'll get past this level here, and onwards and upwards, it's going to look pretty good. We can get pretty fast candles. Look at these green candles. We can get a lot of green candles in there. And I think that the community is just waking up around this PulseChain sacrifice, and the fact that we're going to hit up against this PulseChain sacrifice wall, which I've estimated about the 27th, but Richard said before the end of the year. So pretty cool. The second one, of course, is the PulseChain mainnet launch. This is the earlier date, 6th or 7th of January. That could be pushed out to mid-January, though. Just take that account, depending on how well things go with the minimal viable product. We'll talk more about that later. Let's jump over to the poll. This is on the channel, of course. Let me just, this is amazing. Over 500 votes, so a huge shout out to the Hex token community for doing this. Over 500 votes, impressive. And of course, what price do you think Hex will be by the 31st of December 2021? This is the third update because we're just over 500, and over 40 cents, 27%, 30 40 cents, 14% of people, 20 and 30 cents, 34% of people, and under 20 cents, 25% of people. But of course, by this time, we would expect for the end of the year the PulseSwap sacrifice. So definitely probably more in this upper camp here. So huge shout out, very, very cool. And let's jump over to liquidity. We can see that USDC liquidity has actually moved up. So 84, almost backed up to 85% on the USDC liquidity. Very cool. With the remaining 15% in ETH. Oh man, the price just jumped up even further. We're almost up at 17 cents since the price snapshot, and T-shares are up at 3,348. So nice, heading towards 18 cents. Getting over that would be very important, as I said earlier. So looks like this possibly could be the end of the T-share consolidation, and possibly on the rise now. We'll definitely watch that. Never goes up smoothly, of course. It will be up in a few lines as it jaggers up, as it were. The site does get a little bit laggy, so just take that into account. The price, obviously, Hex price is up, and we're looking to get to 18 cents to break out for sure. And of course, the T-shares price is only up and to the right, so we get towards 20,000 as well. Mass adoption is just trinking along, pretty good growth, but when PulseChain comes on, we should see the big hundreds and thousands of people added. And of course, the Hex payout has been beautiful, and we've been loving that. Get those T-shares, stake them, folks. And obviously, this is the 15-year view of all the global stakes. It's everybody's stakes coming out, and we're just trying to get through this last big wall here, as I say, and then it's open slather. And I think we'll get a lot more. The stakes from now on will get spread out along through this 15-year wall, 15-year staking future as well, so pretty cool. All right, let's jump over to the 4-month view, and of course we've still got these 2 candles waiting for them to go through. We're almost about to move through this one. 17th of December, 852 million hex, 79,000 T shares accumulative. That's all these 4 days up to here, and then once we move past that, of course, woohoo, we've got a pretty open slather, and then we've got this last big candle on the 1st of January 2022, and that's 741 million hex and 310,000 T shares up to this point. So that's all the way up to this point. After that, of course, so we've got one that's not too, that's pretty decent one there too. But after that, we have got an open road all the way through to May, so 2022 fundamentals look super good. And don't forget, we've got PulseChain sacrifice around here, so we could get quite a bit of the hex that's been coming out over the last 2-3 months. That's still sitting in circulating supply, a decent amount getting sacrificed. So that is awesome. Now remember, circulating supply is key to fundamentals. All right, so here was last 17 hours ago we had 22.3 million hex mature after 31 days. It's just one of those rolling walls as we talk about. And of course, we had another 22.7 million hex finish after 31 days as well. They appear to be 2 different accounts. Possibly related to each other, but 2 different accounts. 1.5 million hex just bought on Uniswap 11 hours ago. Yeah, we love those. Go buyers. That's some smart move. And of course, 8 minutes ago, we just had 1.6 million hex just bought for 265,000. That's probably what moved us up towards 17 cents. Very, very cool. Okay, let's jump over to PulseChain. We're going to get some insights into here. I hope you guys will enjoy these insights, that's for sure. Here we are on PulseChain.com. This is a place you want to do if you want to read up everything about the PulseChain basic details. Very cool. And of course, here is the GitLab, PulseChain on GitLab is the testnet, and we're on testnet 2.0. You can see that down the bottom here. Also the faucet there as well. And then if when distributions are waiting for a CSV file to come out, but they're currently sitting in there at the moment with the current draft. All right, so here's PulseChain testnet 2.0 live with the branded block scout, and of course 3-second blocks. The blocks are moving along, and we've got the transactions down the bottom here. Very, very cool. Also, the validated testing is on as well. You can check out my video a couple videos back. I did talk about how to do that on the validators page if you want to stake with the validators to earn a testnet pulse. It's only a test, member. This is not real. This is just a test before to find any issues before going mainstream live, which we're expecting early mid-January at this stage. All right, let's jump over to Richard's tweets now. PulseSwap. PulseSwap, this is just out an hour ago. PulseSwap sacrifice details will release before the end of the year. So these are the 2 things. I did a video yesterday on PulseSwap for beginners. They sort of refreshed how PulseChain sacrifice went and how that might work. Now, obviously 2 things that weren't able to cover in that video were the actual PulseSwap sacrifice details, basically the gamification. Will it be the same as PulseChain sacrifice? I actually think it's going to be a lot shorter, and possibly we won't have the second part. So the first 5 days was a lot of the sacrifice was done then, and we had a very quiet period between that and day 16 with relatively lower. And so I think that Richard might shorten that all up and package that up, waiting for those PulseSwap sacrifices. We're also going to wait for also the PulseSwap tokenomics, how the incentives will play out, and for that as well. So those 2 things are unknown. We wait for Richard. So that's what Richard's saying here. But he is saying it should also start before then, though, the sacrifice before the end of the year. So the details will be out before the end of the year, and the sacrifice itself should start before the end of the year. So that's still consistent with what Richard's been saying. So very, very cool. Now, the other thing, of course, is that I think the basic fundamentals will always be around circulating supply, so keeping that as small as possible. And so I do think that the Origin account will also sacrifice a PulseSwap, just like it did for PulseChain sacrifice. So I'm expecting that too, to give that control and acts like a bit of a monetary policy for the PulseSwap. So definitely looking at that. But remember, PulseSwap most likely will be inflationary as opposed to deflationary like the PulseChain. That's what I'm expecting. And also, the Origin want to have a controlling supply. And don't forget that people will have. There's a little different from other yield farming, because there's going to be a issuance amounts up front, and then of course people will earn the token in yield farming. So pretty interesting. Now we've had some interesting Let me just pull up the stuff. So with the Uniswap we had. You know, initial price ICO of 26 cents, and of course that had a with a launch price of $2.01, and it had an all-time high of $44.97. So initial offering to all-time high was 173x. The launch price to you know, current time was about 8x. So pretty interesting. Pancake Swap, of course. Issued at a launch price, it was 31 cents, and all-time high was 44, so it was 141x from initial offering to all-time high. The launch just to the current price, of course, has been around about 35 or so, and so those are some interesting numbers there. SushiSwap, which was a vampire attack, as they call it, launch price was $3.65, and of course that's done about 6x from that to the all-time high. So some interesting numbers there for sure. I definitely think that PulseSwap will probably outperform PulseChain in the short term, and then PulseChain will outperform in the longer term, or medium longer term, let me put it that way. So some interesting stuff there. I certainly like this bracelet that Richard was wearing here. I'm going to put that on the thumbnail because that's pretty cool. You can also see him wearing that here on his wrist. So very nice there from Richard. All right, so very full. Finally, the timeline, and here it is here. So we are currently in the PulseChain testnet here, just moving along here in the future. I'm expecting the PulseSwap sacrifice to be somewhere between the 27th and the end of the year. So that's pretty cool. That's going on track. And then PulseChain mainnet is probably the early January, but that will, if we add a week on, that'd be at the end of the current estimated time based on what Richard so far. So about mid-January is probably when it will take place. All right, so HexScale, of course, this is another insight. Hope you guys enjoy this. That looks like that will be out before the end of the year, so before the end of December, and I know the Kinetics and his team are working on that pretty diligently in the final stages with the paperwork, the legalese, and all that sort of stuff. Now they're wanting to pick up Hex and get into these PulseSwap and stuff early because they want to have a low price so they can get a high return straight off the bat. So they'll be racing to actually buy. So they have a $1 billion distribution that they're going to be selling this through privately, and then of course they're going to take that public as well, public trust, and they're also going to have some other individual trust products. But that potential, that let's argue for argument's sake, 5 to 10 million. I mean, it could be well in excess of that, but let's say they're wanting to get all that in early, and they're going to stake that for 5,505 days, and then they're going to have that tradable via shares. And of course, they're going to look to, probably go public, something like that, once they reach their private target levels, and get that on, like NASDAQ or somewhere like that, so that people can trade their IRAs and stuff like that. So that's going to be fascinating to watch. So they're racing. They want to get in cheap, and that's a huge buyer demand, as I said. And this is one of many big whales coming in that want to get in before PulseChain launches, and they want to get that price as well. So Hex, it looks like it's just hit 17 cents, so they're going to have to be quick as well, because the market may not wait for them, and so it's going to be pretty amazing. And we're also going to look forward to the PulseSwap tokenomics from Richard. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I think it's going to do it a little different from some of the existing markets, but it'll be also interesting to see whether there's some deflationary tactics in there as well. Very cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was pretty awesome. Some really cool insights there at the moment. Feel free to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, of course, and don't forget channel memberships are open in front of live streams. Now they may be starting tomorrow or the next day, so get in there and get one of those memberships. You get the special emojis and stuff like that for the chat and other perks, so check that out. The other thing, of course, is Staker app. Don't forget they give away $8,700 a week in prizes to those people that use the smart wallet on Staker app to stake for 5,505 days. So definitely, if you're keen to do a stake that long, and you want to also see the cool, see your portfolio through the Staker app, you can do that. You can either add your MetaMask wallet just for view only, never put your smart keys in, remember, or you can open up a smart wallet on the actual app and use that for some staking as well, and get involved with the competition. The link to that is in the video description. Very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a bit longer today, but man, lots of good stuff happening, and Hex price is absolutely booming. So cool. It's great to end on 17 cents for this live stream, and look forward to your comments in the chat. Very cool, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.